10 bands, 50 bands. Get me. Yeah. Burn. He's not gonna be Marley. I don't think he's the right dog. What do you mean? The best idea I've had so far, yeah.
Sound is not on. All right, is the sound on, guys? What's up? What's up? What's up? Hello, beautiful people. Back again with another live stream. It's Any, aka the Noctrader, your friendly neighborhood swing trader. And it's day, what day is it? I don't know what day it is. Time has no meaning no more with this quarantine that we're in. But I'm loving it. I'm a trader, sitting at my desk, enjoying working from home and catching them trades, man. So I'm going to wait a minute or so because I said it's going to start at 10 and I started a couple of 1 or 2 minutes earlier. So I'm just going to wait for the live chat to flood with all of the all of the people that are going to come watch, hopefully. We've got Ewan. Ewan's always there. What's up, Ewan? How you doing? I'm just gonna wait. While we wait, someone leave some movie recommendations, movies for me to watch. I've been watching Knives Out. I watched Knives Out. That's a pretty good one, and I finished Ozark. So I want to watch some great series and some great movies. So if you have any good ideas of anything on Netflix, bad day today, but could have had a better day. Could have had a better day when I was I could have had a better day, to be honest. Trading. I made about 200 quid and then I lost about 180, so I made 20 quid today. But it's one of those days trading. So I'll show you what I saw, and I actually recognized all the right positions as well, but it just wasn't happening for me. So before I get into it, I'm gonna spend a lot of time on the DAX, and I'll tell you why I spend a lot of the time on the DAX. DAX is just the index that I like to trade, just because I like the hours that you can trade at, and I also just like the fact that it's probably a little bit more volatile than the FTSE 100 in the European market. So I always follow DAX. But if I'm talking about the DAX, a lot of these times these rules probably will apply to the Dow Jones or the Australian dollar or the UK FTSE 100 or the S&P 500, because they move in tandem. They actually move. They're quite strongly correlated. So what's happening to one of these country indexes often is happening to the others. So while I'm talking about the DAX, you can still apply some of what I talk about to the DAX to some of the other country index. So with that being said, the DAX, so it found a support at 8,000. I made a video about why it's found a support at 8,000, but I'll talk about it a little bit again some more. On the weekly chart, you can see that it obviously all of this is due to the disease that shall not be named. The virus that shall not be named. That's what happened in that whole month. But like, as you can see here, that support at 8,000 is a previous resistance. That's why it hasn't broken that, and it's dropped about 40%. And I can't see it dropping anymore. It might drop more. Who knows? Where the things happens, but it's already dropped by about 40%, which is why it's found support there. Now, with that being said, it bounced back up, and people thought, okay, this is the beginning of a bull run. But I've seen this before. We've seen it before, and we'll see it again. It very seldom does when the markets tank by that much, does it just start coming back up in the same fashion. Normally it'll take a couple of bounces before and retesting that support before it starts climbing up. So I expect this to be kind of like a dead cat bounce, and I've mentioned this several times, but dead cat bounce is kind of like what it says on the tin. It's let me show you what a dead cat bounce is. I actually saw quite a funny drawing that I want to share with you guys on dead cat bounce. I can't find it. Oh well, I can't share it to you. I'll show it on my Instagram. If you guys look on my Instagram, I'll share it to you. But dead cat bounce is basically, if you drop a cat off a building, what's going to happen? It's going to hit the ground and it's still probably bounce, but it's not going to bounce that high, and it's going to hit the ground again. So that's what it's going to do here, and that's what I think it's going to do here. And why I think that is because, one, it's just history repeating itself. I've seen this happen before, so that's where I'm getting a bit of my confidence for to say that it's a dead cat bounce. And two, there's this resistance that's been trying to break at about 1,000, 10,000, 10147, something around that area. So let's say 10,200 thereabouts. It's been trying to break through that, and it's tried it once, twice, and thrice, and it's failed. Today I thought it might break it, so that's why I set an alert on this line, but it never broke that line. And because it didn't break that line, I thought, okay, it looks like it's not going to break it. And the next thing to do now, because my theory was, when it was around here, my theory was it was either going to break through and do that, or it was going to sell off. Now it's looking more like it's the latter, just because it had 3 times to break through and it hasn't done that, and now it's kind of retreating. So with that being said, I believe it's going to make its way all the way back down to the I think it's going to make its way all the way back down to the old, the support line at 8,000 again, and then maybe climb up again, maybe do it once more, and then start making its way back up slowly. This is going to happen over a course of weeks, maybe days, but so it's not something that's going to happen over 1 or 2 days. But I believe the next action right now is to see it retrace all the way back down to 8,000, if not just a little bit shy of it. So it may not go all the way back down to 8,000, but it's going to retrace by like a significant amount. I can see it falling. Now, with that being said, the DAX it looks like it's going to fall, and the MACD and RSI both kind of not really telling us too much. They're quite flat at the moment, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is the next actions we see it falling down here. So yeah, I'm going to leave that line here, and then we'll see how that progresses. But that is what I think is going to happen next. And if just to buttress my point, if you look at previous sell-offs, even if they haven't been as big as this, previous sell-offs, there's lots of sell-offs that you can look at. Like just stick into the DAX. If you look at my position from earlier, oh yeah, okay, so yeah, my position from earlier. So this is what I'll tell you about some of the trades I took today. I took quite a lot of, some good trades, some bad trades, but this is what happened. I'll tell you my thought process behind the trades that I took earlier. So so this is what happened. Let me go 1,000. So this morning, today, I thought, okay, this morning I saw price went up to here, and then, no, where was it? It's today. Today's Tuesday, right? Yeah. So here, so today, I was hoping price was going to test this resistance and break through. So when price got to around here, I was waiting, and I was waiting for it to break through here. And the minute it broke this line, I was going to take a long position. I was going to take a long position once price broke through here, went like there and there. But that didn't happen. So I was just waiting and waiting and waiting. That's why you wait for confirmation. If I took a long here, I would have lost some money. Now it sold off, and this is the mistake I made. When it started selling off, I should have taken a short and then made some money down here, because that would have been some quick money. I could have made about 400 pips in 2 hours, but I was being really cautious. I was still hoping that there was going to be a long. I was still hoping, what I was hoping for was I was hoping for this. So I still had hopes that this could still climb up. So I was hoping that I was going to sell off and then try again to retest it. So what I did was that once it went down here, I took a long position, and it was a pretty good long position in my eyes, because I thought, so this is what I thought, because I'd seen this kind of support line here. Price had respected it once, twice. I thought it was going to respect it here again. So this area here is where I took a long, and it made sense, because look, here, and here, it come to this line. It didn't quite hit it, but I thought it was close enough. And plus, because of where it was, I could set a tight stop loss. So if I was wrong, I wouldn't have lost much money anyway. So it was a win-win situation. So then I drilled down even further. And when I drilled down further, even to the 2-minute chart, what I saw a it was like a ascending channel, which was good. I thought, yeah, ascending channel, it's just going to ebb and flow, and then it's going to make its way to the top again. But what I saw that I didn't like was that it double topped here, and when it double topped here, this place was like a Fibonacci level as well. So if you go from here to here and back again, you see that was a Fibonacci level. So when it double topped here, I thought, it looks like it might start selling off, but I still held my position, because I held my position and I waited for it to come back down, and then I thought, okay, if it climbs, if it makes another climb like here, then I'm smooth sailing. If momentum, so if it carries on, if it goes like that and then it goes like that, then I'm all right. But if it goes like that and then it struggles to kind of break past this previous high here, then I know that it's kind of lost momentum, and then this could be a bear flag. So as we know, bear flags are when price sells off, makes a little bit of like an ascending channel pattern up, and then sells off again. I've actually made a video on bear flag. If you check my playlists on different chart patterns, you'll see that I explain how to capitalize off bear flags. But when I saw that it kind of lose momentum here, and even volume, well, not volume, but when I saw it lose momentum here, I was like, I don't see this. I don't see price making its way back up here. So I need to abort this kind of mission. And if you even look at the 15-minute chart, if you look at the 15-minute chart, you can see that once price got to here, the MACD kind of rounded off. And we all know that the MACD rounding off is also a sign of a potential change in direction, because whenever the MACD rounds off, can you see MACD rounds off and turns down, sell off. MACD rounds off, turns down, sell off. MACD rounds off, turns down, sell off. So when I saw this and then I saw the MACD rounding off, I was like, okay, I got to exit my position. Exit my position for a small profit, but could have been way bigger if I'd exited it at this peak. Now so then I thought, okay, didn't do what I expected to do. I was hoping for price to go all the way up to here and make me a big profit, but it didn't happen. So what I did was that once it started selling off, I took a short position here, and the short position was off the assumption that, okay, if this is a bear flag, then a bear flag normally, whatever that is, it's going to come back down in the same fashion. But I had to still realize that there's this support line that was going to be respected. So what I did was I took a short and I shorted it, and I took it down. My idea was to short it all the way down to this line, and that's exactly what it did, but I lost my stomach. I shorted it down to here, and then the minute it started retracing, I took my money out. But really, there was more to be made, and I was right in my assumption. Cheers, Kwame. What's up, man? How you doing? So I was right in my assumption, but I was poor in my execution. That's why it's hard to trade in the lower time frames, because there's so much noise that you can lose your head. Because the minute, if you think a price is gonna go from like here to here, that's what you planned to do. But then when you see it start going down, and then you're making lots of money, then you lose half of it. It's a bit of a scary proposition to think, okay, I made 100 quid, now I'm back down to 50. So and while you're here, it's easy to, in hindsight, to say, oh yeah, I should have held it. But like, it's always a psychological battle to hold on to something and then see half of it go away, and then pull out your money because you're scared, and then you see it actually go where you're supposed to go. So it's just a internal battle that you have to always trying to fight, and there's no real way of I don't have the answer for it, because I make those mistakes anyway. That's why I like to trade on a larger time frame. What's up, Wayne? How you doing? I like to trade on a larger time frame just because it eliminates some of this noise, and I can make trades that don't require me to be mentally strong. That's basically what I'm saying. But anyway, we digress. So I've just been looking at indices basically, really, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't really been looking at stocks, but I remember, I think someone in the chat room, actually, while I'm here, I'm gonna plug the chat room. Join my Discord group called Pip Talks that I run with Infinite Investors, myself and Infinite Investors. Check out his channel as well, his YouTube channel. We run a investment and trading chat room on Discord. He runs the investment channel, I run the trading channel. We're quite active. There's quite active community of over, I don't even know how many people there are now. There's nearly over 450, nearly just shy of 500 people in the chat room. Got some great contributors, some really smart people. Look at Notorious, he's making a lot of money. He's making way more money than me on there. There's lots of like-minded people just sharing strategies and stuff like that. So it's a great community. Join the Discord group. The link's in the description section below. And I need to start talking slower. But so Enjoy Steen, he said that and I should cover Tesla and Amazon. I'll cover them in a second. But right now, so my theory is that price is going to sell off. So as I said earlier, I think DAX is going to sell off. And the reason I think DAX is going to sell off is that history has said that when there's a big sell-off, when it hits a support, it normally retests that support a couple times before it starts climbing. Makes either a V shape or makes about like a W or something like that. And then I was just going to show you some other examples of where that's happened before I moved on. And some examples are, let me give you some examples. So look at this here. It's not a bigger sell-off, but look at this. Price fell here in like 13 days. It fell by like 1,000 pips, and then it came up, came back down, 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 and then it gradually started climbing up. So to think that it's going to come down and then just skyrocket back up, it's not really doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's hardly going to do that. What's up, Phil? Locked in. Nice. So, and I'm just looking at history, and these things that happened here aren't as big as what's going on with the coronavirus. It has a bigger economic situation than like a normal crisis or credit crunch. So that's why I think it's going to bounce a couple times before it climbs up, and that's where we can make some money. Not now that it's come up, you can make money off the dip, shorten it, climb in. So the volatility is where we make our money. We're not like some of these investors that we can only make money on the way up. So everyone's crying because everything's selling off. Thanks. Yeah, so you can make money on the way up, make money on the way down, but you just need to identify patterns that you've seen previously. And the dead cat bounce is a pattern I've seen previously, and it's a pattern I want to capitalize off of, and I think that's what's going to happen here. So with that being said, the one stock I'm actually in right now is I'm in an ETF called SQQ. Now SQQ, a little backstory about SQQ and TQQ. TQQ and SQQ track the Nasdaq 100, so the US 100 on here, but it's the Nasdaq stocks. So where is it? I'll show you the Nasdaq 100. So it's an ETF that tracks the US Tech 100. And right now, also looks like it's in a dead cat bounce. Everything looks like it's a dead cat bounce in my opinion. So it's sold off, climbed, and even as you can see the climb is almost like it's even bouncing like a the way you see like a object in a trajectory bouncing. So it's going like that. And then it's bouncing like that, if that makes sense. So and it's even doing that here. It's kind of losing momentum, and I can see it going like that. So what I saw here. So now that you know that it's tracking the Nasdaq, I just want to explain that to you before I went into SQQ and TQQ. So QQQ, SQQ, TQQ, all tracking the same thing. So TQQ, let me use SQQ for example. No, triple Q. So triple Q, this is a ascending wedge. And ascending wedge, we all know what, well, if you don't know, ascending wedge, I love trading ascending wedges because they're quite predictable in the way they move. So textbook behavior of an ascending wedge is as followed. Let me show you. I've even Googled it. If you Google ascending wedge, textbook behavior is that price sells off, makes higher lows and higher highs, but like it's converging to a point, and then once it breaks that support, it sells off, and it sells off dramatically. So with that, armed with that knowledge, when you see an ascending wedge, this is the point at which you want to take a short. Now with QQQ, I didn't short it, but instead I took a long on SQQ. So as you know about ETFs, if you don't know about ETFs, I made a video on ETFs. You could check that out. Just Google Noctrader ETF. There's a video that explains what ETFs are. But TQQ and SQQ are inversely correlated. So with ETFs, some of them you can't short them, but it doesn't matter because if two ETFs are inversely correlated, when one goes up, the other one goes down. So if I wanted to short TQQ or QQ, or if I wanted to short TQQQ or short triple Q, the same thing will happen if I go long on SQQ, which is what I did here. So I've taken a long position on SQQ in the hopes that now this will do exactly what this is hopefully gonna do, but in the opposite way. So given that the technical analysis theory says that when the ascending wedge breaks support, it sells off, then a descending wedge, when it breaks resistance, should go up. And this is a really good trade because I'm risking about, let's say 200 quid, and in hopes to make about 387. So that's nearly 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, which is pretty good. I'm happy with that. And the good thing about it is that as it starts rising, I can just raise my stop loss. So I'm reducing my risk as the trade goes along. So this trade, hopefully, is going to be about I reckon about a 3-4 day trade. So hopefully, within 3-4 days, I would have made my 387 quid. But I'll keep you guys posted on that trade. Guys, I've been rambling. What trades, what stocks are you guys looking at? What do you want me to look at? Is there anything that you guys have been looking at? Ewan, I know you have lots of stuff you want to talk about. Actually, while we're at it, Enjoy Steen, even though he didn't join the live stream, but he wants me to cover Tesla and Amazon. So I'm going to cover, let me start with Tesla. But while I'm covering Tesla and Amazon, if you want to post the ticker symbols and any stocks you guys are looking at, or if anyone wants me to cover anything, let me know in the chat, and I'll cover some of these stocks for you. Tesla. Okay, so Tesla's, yeah, this line here is a previous support on Tesla, as you can see. What do I think of Tesla? Let me see here. Let me see the daily. See, a lot of these stocks are just mirroring the ETFs that I'm talking about. Like, they're mirroring their indexes. So it sold off dramatically, recovered a bit, like kind of come up again, and there's nothing from saying that it's not going to do exactly what the indexes that I was talking about are doing. Bear Qs, pure of them, not one, not two, pure of them. Yeah, so I don't even know, to be honest. I don't know. Tesla, I don't know. Sometimes you just got to say when you don't know. The chart looks a bit messy. Lots of stuff is happening. It's kind of found the support on this resistance line, this previous line here, which is which is the parallel resistance here. But I don't know. 180 simple moving average is curving down. So I mean, if you had to like held the gun to my head and said what was going to happen, I think it's going to sell off again, but not all the way down, back down, and basically the same as what I said with the ETFs: sell off, come back down, and go up. I'm going to leave that there just in case I'm right, so I can show off. But yeah, that's what I think it was going to do. I think over the medium term, it's going to sell off a little bit and then make its way back up. Daniel Trader says Microsoft. Okay, cool. Microsoft. Why do you guys always just pick the bait stocks, man? Nah, come on, look at some other stuff. Always Microsoft, always Tesla, always Netflix, always Google. Come on. Go on, expand your portfolio, man. Look at some other stocks. You and ASX, yeah, you know I love the ASX. That's actually why I made this thing at this time, because ASX gets busy at around 10:30. That's when it goes live. So I'll cover the ASX in a second, because 10:30 is when I think pre-market opens at 10:30, or is the market opens at 10:30? I think pre-market opens at 10:30. But yeah, Microsoft. Once again, Microsoft to me looks like a falling wedge. Looks like a bear flag. Once again, if you don't know what a bear flag does or what it is, check out my video on bear flags. Looks like a bear flag. So I'm gonna open two. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna if you go here, go to DAX. I'll open another one. So I'm gonna put this side by side, and I'm gonna explain to you something. Once you see enough patterns repeat themselves, you start to be able to predict what's going to happen next with a higher level of accuracy. Now, Microsoft looks like a bear flag to me, and it looks like that because I've seen it before, and as I said, I've seen it several times, and I even spoke about it earlier. I saw it today. That's why I traded today. Remember, I spoke about the bear flag. Look at this is on the 2-minute chart. This is on the 4-hour chart. It doesn't matter if you see the same pattern. You see the same pattern. Now, as you can see here, this is almost like a before and after. Price came down, made like an ascending channel pattern. Looks like what I would want to see before I take a short on Microsoft is that I would want to see it break the support line. You see here, it broke the support line. The minute it breaks the support line, I'd take a short position, and then you could profit off that. So that's how I would play Microsoft if I wanted to take a short on it. And the good thing about it is that you've quit at the right time, because if it is a bear flag, which I think it is, I'm going to draw this line here. I think it's going to retest this support line here. I think you can take a short position once it breaks this line. So what I'd do is that I'd set an alert on this line here, and then once it breaks it, it'll sell off, and then you take a short position, ride it down, and set your stop loss here, and then just keep moving it, and then once you move it past break even, you just wash your hands of it, walk away, because then it'll hit that support line, and if it doesn't, it will retrace back and hit your stop loss, but then you still be in the green, because once your stop loss is past this line area there, then you're just all green, and then you can just watch your trade and see how much it makes. Phil talks about Spice. Philip, okay. TLT, okay. Let me do Phil's one, and then I'll do TNT. Spice. Oh, Space Virgin. Okay, cool. Virgin Atlantic. Okay, let me exit this. Yo, that sell-off was... See, this is one of those ones that I was talking about where it's like there was a lot of hype around it, which is why it skyrocketed. Then it sold off just as fast as it came up. That happened with quite a lot of stocks that had a lot of buzz around them. It happened to what's that? Beyond Meat, BYND. It happened to Beyond Meat. And there's a lot of hype. It goes up and it comes down real fast as well. Yeah, but this I still think is a good company because obviously. But are you talking for a trade? I wouldn't trade this long term. If you want to long term hold it as an investment, I think it might be a solid investment long term. But trade, I wouldn't trade this. I wouldn't trade this at all right now. Ewan, ASX, he wants me to cover ASX. ASX is kind of a similar story as DAX. As I said, all the country indices, all the major country indices, so like the ones that I've got highlighted in turquoise here, Dow Jones, Nike, FTSE, ASX, SP 500, those the major ones, they all kind of move in the same motion. So I'm inclined to say that the ASX is going to sell off. Just because I said all the other ones are, but I'm not liking the pattern right now because it looks all over the place. It's not smooth. There's not a smooth pattern to really capitalize off. Like it just looks quite scatty right now, which I don't like. But I do expect it to sell off. And one thing, if you look at the MACD as well, the MACD is at a tipping point. I like it when I see the MACD just at a point where it's about to cross over, because normally when you see a MACD about to cross over in the gradient, obviously you never use one indicator to make a decision. But when you see the MACD about to cross over, historically, that means there's about to be a sell-off coming on. Like, if you see here, look here, sell-off. Look here, sell-off. Look here, well, not, see, but this one didn't sell off that much, but as you can see, this was quite shallow. You want it to be like a roller coaster curve. The steeper it is, the better the sell-off is. So this one was like a little bit steeper, and look at that sell-off. So this one, hopefully, if this one looks quite shallow, so it might sell off, but not to the fashion that you'd want it. It might sell off kind of like this one did here. But yeah, I still expect to sell off. Obviously, I wouldn't use this information by itself just to make a trade. I use a combination of the different indicators in collaboration and combination to make my trading decisions. But MACD crossing over is one of the signs. From the green to the red is a sign of a sell-off. And what else? Then we're looking at... I was going to look at gold as well, actually. Gold. I made that joke like 1,000 times over there. Yeah, gold selling off. Everything's selling off, man. Watch. I'm telling you, the next couple of days are going to be red days. I'm telling you. Listen to me. The next couple of days, I reckon, are going to be red days. Just as the market consolidates. You saw some green. You're going to see some red now. And just like gold's been weird because gold is supposed to move inverse to the ETF market, but right now it's moving like in parallel to it. So I don't know what's going on there, but I think gold's gonna come back down again. I don't think it's gonna retest this line, but I think it's gonna sell off again. So yeah, I sound like a broker. And TLT, let me see TLT. TLT is Tilt Renewable. Is that what he's looking at? Tilt Renewable. No, I think you might be talking about something else. TLT is... I don't know what you're referring to with TLT. Is it this bond one? This 20-year bond one? Another one. Another ugly chart. I wouldn't trade this. Just the chart looks ugly, man. Nah, I wouldn't trade this unless you're talking about something else. But yeah, Ewan, message me on the Discord if I didn't pick the right stock. But I don't think this is that TLT is the one. Is the one still. The Treasury bond ETF. Yeah, okay, so I'm on the right one. What do you want me to do with this then? He's looking at the wrong chart. Had a resistance was actually looking at has a resistance on US 500. US 500. I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about, Ewan? It was Treasury 1 hour resistance on SPI. Okay, SPY 1 hour resistance. Are you talking about? Are you talking about this on the SPY? Is that what you're talking about? Ewan, I don't know what you're talking about, mate. Message me privately on the Discord, or just message me on the Discord. I'm getting kind of confused. Yeah. I'm done. Guys, it's been real. Any aka the Noctrader signing out.